it's Bobby with Bobby Stamps. Today's Monday and I have this super cute treat holder I'm going to share with you guys. I made the exact same box on my Facebook Live last Wednesday. It was a little bit more fancy and elegant than what this one is, but this one holds some sun-made sour strawberry raisin snacks, and I have had these and I love them. If you like raisins, I highly recommend these. I love raisins. I used to eat raisins all the time when I was little. Okay, so we'll just slip the belly band back on there. So I went on a shopping spree to be able to use the stamp set with you guys and to share some treat holders, and I have a bunch of videos I'm going to be posting using the sweet strawberry bundle with the punch, the coordinating punch, and this beautiful DSP that you can earn the other strawberry. I can't remember the name of it, and I just moved it because I'm going to be using that one on my Facebook Live this Wednesday to make a different treat holder. Okay, so let me move this out of the way first, because what I want to do first is move that without knocking everything over, is we're going to stamp. I don't know if you guys can see, but lightly all over there I stamped the strawberry image before I did my scoring. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to open up Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to use this image. I'm not going to use the other one. And I think my Poppy Parade actually needs to be re-inked, and it does. So I'm going to pause the video and re-ink it, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try that again. I re-inked it a few weeks ago, but to be honest with you, I didn't really do a good job, and I knew I didn't do a good job when I did it, but it was one of those things where I was in a hurry and it was enough to get me through that moment. But as you can see, these are showing up a lot better. So I'm just going to rotate. Ooh, I about dropped it. I am just rotating the stamp too every time I stamp, because we don't want them all going in the right direction, in the same direction. So I'm just going all over, making sure I stamp off on the side, and I'm just randomly putting them on there. Okay, so something like that. Can you guys see that, the difference between those two that I first did and then all the rest of them? Big difference. I would try, I don't know if I can stamp over those perfectly, but they're so faint, I don't think it's going to matter anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, because I don't think you're going to notice a difference. Okay, let's move this out of the way. And then I'm going to bring my Simply Scored board in. Try to make sure that I'm in frame so you guys can see. And in case I didn't tell you, the base for the box for the holder is 10.5 by 5. And I need to bring my notes just a little bit closer so I can see my score marks. Okay, so I'm going to score on the long side at 2 inches, 2 3/4 inches, 6 3/4, and at 7.5. Okay, and then on the short side, I want to score it at, and I have to kind of position myself a little bit better. I'm going to score it at 1/4 of an inch. That's a very tiny score mark. 1 inch, and then at 4. And then at 4 3/4. Whoa, I jumped. Hopefully that won't make a difference. Okay. That's the scoring that we need to do. I hope I don't need my big scissors because they fell. So I'm just going to grab a bone folder, burnish the score marks. And this one, because it's so tiny, I like to fold it completely over with my fingers first, then go in with my bone folder to make sure I have it perfectly straight. So let's open those back up. Okay, so let's grab our scissors. I'm going to use both my bigger and my smaller scissors because here in a minute we're going to make a big long cut. So this section down here is smaller than this section here. So this is the section that we're going to start with. So you're just going to cut up to that second score line right there, okay? And then we're going to cut this away. You're going to remove this outside tab, okay? And then we're going to come back in and just slightly wedge just to get that bulk of that score mark. So just like, and then I'm just going to slightly cut this right there because I could still see a bit of that score mark. Do the same thing on this side. Cut up to the second score mark. I'm going to remove the first section. And we're going to take this little section out. Right there. And then this one, get that off my scissors. This one will slightly wedge. And again, just slightly wedge that side. And then I'm just going to remove again because I can see just a smidge of my score line, okay? Then I'm going to flip it to this end, and we're going to totally cut out the side. This is why I'm going to use my bigger scissors because I want to cut as straight as I possibly can. So I'm just going to cut all the way to the second score mark. And just totally remove that piece right there, okay? And so again, and you could put this in your trimmer if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. And then move that one, okay? So let me clean up my trash here just really quick. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom like that. We're going to fold that up, and that's how it's going to come together, okay? So let's go ahead and flip this over. Let me lay it there, and that way you guys can get a good clean look at it, what you should have left. Let me turn it. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm actually, well, I was going to use my tear tape. Let me grab it really quick. I moved it. Trying to get this video filmed and everything situated for my Facebook Live on Wednesday. So I'm just going to tear off just the smallest piece and put on this tab. You could use the Stampin' Sew Plus if you want to for that. I feel like it's kind of harder to use that when I'm doing just such a small amount. So I like to take my fingernail and kind of push it down. That kind of helps. Then I'm going to place tear tape just along this outside edge right there and get it as close to that edge as you can. And then if you get any that hangs over, make sure you trim that off. You don't want that to show. And then I'm just going to guesstimate it. Make sure you guys watch the video for the project I made on my Facebook Live because I loved it. I thought it was quite stunning. Okay, let's take these and remove them. Oops. And you could actually change the one I made for my Facebook Live. So I'm just going to corner to corner, make sure I got those straight, just like that. Oops. Guess I didn't push hard enough. And then this one, it's the same thing, just line that up, corner to corner. Make sure you get that straight. Make sure you have those folded in, and then we'll take the tear tape off of these strips. But what I was going to say is the holder that I made, or this one, for my Facebook Live, you could change these up in any kind of style and theme that you wanted. That's not coming off. I didn't have it down good. Let's try again. Oh, usually I peel that off before I put the bottom tabs together. This one I did not for some reason. Now I'm just going to make sure I have that straight up that side, and then the same thing over here. Just straight up on that edge, just like that, okay? Let's grab, whoa, the Detail Trio Punch, and we will round our corners on that front flap. That's going to fold over just like that, okay? Then I have a piece of that DSP that's in that paper pack, and I'm just going to take, fix that really quick. We're just going to take that, lay it on the front, kind of even, and then you're just going to pinch. We don't have to score, but you can just kind of pinch it with your fingers where you want the score marks to be. And then just wrap it around like that. So I'm gonna put my Stampin' So Plus on this edge right there. I'll pick this up, make sure I have everything the way I want it. Put this on there again, just like I had it. Hopefully I had picked it up and put it with the sticky on the right side. Now you want this a little bit tight, but you also want it loose enough so they can slide that on and off. And then you can go back in with your fingers and kind of make your score marks, just like that. Okay, let's put that off to the side. Now I will tell you, I used my stitched shapes, and I did use the largest one for this one, and I kind of felt like it was too big, so I'm going to try this one. I may not like it. I might wish I would have used the bigger one, but we shall see. So I have got to pick these up because they're driving me nuts. So let's move that out of the way. I'm going to grab my little piece of scrap Whisper White that I have. I'm going to need my piercing mat again. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to need the scrap piece. So I'm going to take the Poppy Parade and I want to look at my, okay, let me see if I put that in there. So I'm kind of going to stamp it upside down, I think. So I'm just going to stamp Poppy Parade. I'm going to stamp one, and then I'm going to kind of jump down. I can't remember now what is going to hit that. The flower thing is going to hit. Okay, so that should be good right there if I stamp it there. Okay, and then I'm going to ink the inside color up in Poppy Parade, but I'm going to stamp off. I don't want it near that dark. Just line that up and do the little filler. Stamp off, and then I'm just going to line that up and do the filling. Okay, now we'll come back here in a minute and we'll do our leaves in the Granny Apple Green, but first I want to pop these out. So that's why I was being particular the way where I stamped, because I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to get those popped out pretty well. And as you can see, you know what, if I would have, I could have stamped the flowers there, but I didn't. So, or the little stems, I guess I should say. Okay, let's get all of these out of the way, and then we'll do this one. Okay. So now we have both of our strawberries. And then our little stem is right here, so I'm going to stamp those. Probably, let's go ahead and trim this off. And what I'm doing is just making sure that when I stamp those, so I'm just going to do them right there. And we'll grab Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to do these one at a time for right now. So let's stamp the outside and then use the filler one. And hopefully my head's not in the camera. That is daggone good from where I'm sitting at. You guys, I'm not even close to being over top of that. That was a good guesstimate, because trust me, that's all it was a guesstimate. I kind of feel like I have trouble lining this this leaf up. I don't know if anybody else is, but see, I feel like I get too much white showing through. Let's try it again. Okay, let's see where we can stamp this one at. We'll do it right there. So let's just do that one. Yeah, it took me a couple of tries. And these I'm not stamping off on. You can if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But I just feel like I have a hard time judging that perimeter. So let me, I don't know if I'm focusing too much on the stem. Let's see if this one, oh yeah, that one turned out a lot better. I think the swirl, I threw that away. I think the swirl, I'm going to do this one more time because I didn't like my first one. I think the swirl, I'll show you here in a second what I think is throwing me off. Okay. So I think that swirl, that little peak right there is what's throwing me off when I'm visually looking at it. So let's try it again. Let's go in there. Hopefully this one will turn out. Yeah, I like that one better. So we'll use that one. I'm going to throw that other one away. So let me throw it away or I'll end up using it because I'll forget that that was the bad one. Now, I would normally right now go ahead and stamp the sentiment, but first I do want to see how this is gonna look before we do that, because I might even have to choose a different sentiment. Let's wait and see. Okay, so the 2 strawberries. So see, I'm not really gonna have a lot of room for the sentiment. I guess I could pull these up. Let's go ahead and stamp it and see. We'll just see what we can do. I'll stamp it at the bottom. Let me grab my piercing mat. With the photopolymer, we really need that cushion, especially the hard surface, my countertop in my craft room. So I'm just going to stamp that really low at the bottom like that. And hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully we can adjust our strawberries where we put them at. So let's bring this in and we can kind of see. I'm going to grab my mini glue dots. And I'm just going to put a mini glue dot on the back. Oops, maybe I'm going to. Where's my pick tool? I usually have more luck with that. And then we'll just put one on one strawberry, a little bit higher. A little bit higher. Kind of like there, maybe. Okay, and then let's do another one with this one. So I'm just going to pick up one of the glue dots right there. I skipped one. And then let's just put that right at the top, just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals, probably 2. Could do 3 if you want, but I'm totally happy with just 2. So that's what I'm going to use. Okay. And then we can place it. I really wanted more of the designer series paper to show, is why I wanted to shorten that down just a little bit. So I don't want that to stick on my designer series paper right now. So I'm just going to put one there. Peel that off. And then I'm just going to layer this one kind of like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Probably do 4. You just want to make sure whatever you're putting that you're putting it on the belly band so it will slide with the belly band when they open their treat up. So let's put that right there in the center. I do think I like this one a little bit better, just because it shows off more of the designer series paper. Okay, and next we're going to use some of the Resin Hearts embellishments. And I have another pack of this opened. I know that I do. I know I did not use a whole pack already, and I know I'll find it now that I've had to open this one to use it. Isn't that the way it always goes? So I'm just going to place a couple of these, like a white one and then one of the red one. And this one I think is like the real red, I think is the color. I'm not sure if it even says which one it coordinates with, but it blends in, so who cares? It's a shade of red, you guys. And then I think just to add an extra touch, I'm going to add a couple more down here. And I don't want them both going in the same direction, so I'm just going to kind of turn that a little bit. And then what we will do to top it off is I have my linen thread, and I'm just going to double this up about that much. And I'm just going to trim that off, and then I'm going to cut it right there. And I tried to use a smaller amount just because I'm making such tiny bows, but it's just so hard to get it wrapped and pulled through and made the way that you want it and to make a good bow. So I just used my normal amount because we are talking tiny, tiny bows here. So let's just pull that. I'm going to pull this one a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim the tails off to about the same length. I'm going to add a mini glue dot and take my pick tool and just put that ribbon right there on that one. And then we're going to do the same thing. Just roll some of that off, kind of guesstimate how much you're going to need. And the linen thread is so cheap, you guys. I think it's like $5 and you get so much of it. So sometimes you can splurge on occasions like this and just get what you need to begin with. Because I find I get more frustrated when I'm trying to skimp and make it work, because little bows especially, I think, are just so much harder to make. So I'm just going to keep pulling on that. That one kind of got a twist in it. I think that was where it was bent when this is the old kind, when they would wrap it around that cardboard. But it'll be okay. It'll look okay in the end. I just want to make sure it's not too big, so I'm going to pull that just a little bit. Okay. And then let's pull these down. I'm just going to trim the bottom off, just like I did with the other one. And then I'm going to grab my mini glue dots, just like I did before, and then we'll just place that right there. Whoops. And that is our little treat holder using the Sweet Strawberry bundle. I hope that you guys like this, and if you do, please make sure that you hit the like button and the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Make sure you hit the little bell notification, so that way you will be notified every time I upload a video. And I upload videos every Monday and every Thursday, and then I do a weekly Facebook Live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, guys.